All right, geometry. In this video, we'll be practicing using the reflexive property in a proof. So let's take a look at what we're given. So we're given that B is the midpoint of DC. So now with that information, I want to go ahead and mark the diagram. So if B is the midpoint, that means DB is congruent to BC. So I want to write my given directly into my proof right away. So B is the midpoint of DC, and the reason is that that's given. And then for 2, we're going to write DB is congruent to BC. And for that, we would just write definition. I'm going to shorthand the word definition. So definition of a midpoint. Okay, so once we've got that information, we can go ahead and write down our other given, which is this part, that AB is perpendicular to DC. So AB is perpendicular to DC. 3, that would be given. Okay, so now some things that we can write from that is we can say that angle ABC and angle ABD are right. Now, the reason for that would be perpendicular segments create right angles. And now I'm shorthanding this and using symbols for each part. So the reason for number 4 says perpendicular segments create right angles. Okay, so then our 5th step would be to say that angle ABC is congruent to angle ABD. So we're going to put a little box here as well. And the reason for that would be all right angles are congruent, because all right angles measure 90 degrees. And so that means that all right angles are congruent. Okay, and so then our next step would be to say, I'm going to switch colors here. Let's do 6. So step 6, well, if I'm trying to prove the triangles are congruent, if I say that AB is congruent to itself, I can use the shortcut of side, angle, side. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's say AB is congruent to AB. And the reason for that would be the reflexive property. Okay, so now we've got enough information. I've marked up the diagram and I've written it all out in my proof for me to say that triangle ABD is congruent to triangle ABC by side, angle, side. Now I want to go back and just double check my work. So let's see, if I'm using side, angle, side, I need to make sure that I've got a side and an angle and a side in my proof. So here's a side right here. My claim that says DB is congruent to BC. Let's find a pair of congruent angles. So the congruent angles come in step 5 with our congruent right angles. And then the final side that we said was congruent was through using that reflexive property. So there's my side, angle, side. Okay, let's try another example.